part, and then I'll tell you the political part. Where is it? We have noted the concern, Chairman, but to address this concern, in collaboration with the Senate and Parliament, we have agreed that COG be anchored in law. I'm not sure where the stage the amendment is, but it has been forwarded so that then COG can be funded. In fact, this year their budget has been reduced by 35 million. So they are going to
funded by who? National government?
Yes. No, that is the query. That is the query.
But
so
there is no law backing it.
Yes, that's the query. So we are saying anchor COG as a secretary, the way you have anchored IGRTC as a coordination arm of the summit, anchor COG as a coordination arm of the governance with the other arms of the executive, and then fund it. Because they fund it, Mr. Chairman, but they give them little resources. So they recognize they exist and they don't give them resources. Yet, like you're asking the Legal Affairs Committee, as opposed to what we used to have, Senator Dula, when I was in the Senate, the Council of Governors now has lawyers who represent the Council of Governors when we are sued. And the Council of Governors is sued every day by everybody. The Okia Umtatas of this world have increased. There are many, and there are legal suits every day. And these people need to be paid. And I have to debate this issue. So, Mr. Chairman, please help us in getting the COG anchored in law and then properly funded by Treasury, the way they fund IGRTC, and they find other outfits that are coordinating intergovernmental relations. Thank you.
Okay, I think, yes, Senator Spooner.
You know, the governor, you know the distinction between the law as it should be and the law as is. As it is right now, it is not proper for you to do that. It's against the law. I think there's governors who have come here and confirmed that they have stopped payments. I don't know if it's true. What is the current status? Have you paid your subscription this year?
As a responsible leader in the Council of Governors, I have complied. And when I sit in the council,
complied or you have broken the law? Governor,
and I can
that is not. How can you say as a responsible leader when breaking the law?
No, I can say this on record, and I like being, because I've taken oath. This matter needs to be handled so that then counties can continue receiving the services they are getting from the Council of Governors that coordinate all sorts of meetings for all of them, including all this executive.
So what we are asking us is very unfair, because first you must come to us with clean hands. If there has been a resolution of the Senate, and I think that resolution was made when he was in the Senate,
yes.
that payment
has been there all through.
Yes.
It has been there all through.
Oh,
Governor.
Yeah, to anchor it in law.
How can you yourself?
To anchor COG in law.
No. The resolution that payment is illegal was, I found it there. When I was elected to this Senate, the resolution was there.
Well,
so the first thing is you comply with your own resolution, then you talk to us about regularizing. But how can somebody who's in breach of the law and is continuous, actively, including today you are confirming, then you come to me and say regularize? I'll not do it.
I think I can guarantee you, Governor, in terms of regularizing, that one is at a very advanced stage.
Oh, good.
To anchor it in law, that should be done. We've made good progress.
Thank you.
This idea of contribution, the way I look at it, is part of the way of fighting devolution. You know, the other day, I was in a committee where we were told that the government woke up one day and decided to wire money to the accounts of women reps to go and fight what they call, what do you call it, GBV or something. And you know, I was asking, where is this anchored in law? It's nowhere. But nobody will ask because it doesn't involve devolution. But anything that is done to support devolution, you'll get all manner of fights from national government. So I think my personal view is that we need to support COG. I have never seen where this thing you call IBEC is in court defending devolution. You do good work, and I think if you need one voice on that, I'm there to support you. Let COG be anchored in law, Let the national government give you a budget. They deal with you every day. They call you to meetings every day. So they should fund you. Chair, I think that's the way to progress because we are here to defend devolution.
Senator Nyamira is preparing his exit to the other side.
As it is now,
Chair,
There was
I
yes,
wanted to
Senator.
ask, you remember earlier I asked you what does your jailer do? This is one of the things, because you are doing illegal things for the last 12 years. And it's very wrong. So, since you have actually prepared now to anchor it in law, I think Senate will fast track. But I think you need to advise also your committee. Some of the subscription you are making are illegal. And some of the things you do also in your counties are illegal. You should advise each other.
Senator Spooner.
Chair, may I want to go on record. For as long as the Council of Governors is in breach of a resolution of the Senate, you cannot ask us to help you. I think the goodwill would have been to stop, then you say expedite. I would do that. But how does it look, Governor? Somebody who's in breach of the law under a resolution of the House that I sit in, coming to tell me, yes, I've broken the law, can you expedite the regularization? That one, you can count me out. On that one, let us fight devolution if that is what it means, it's fighting devolution. That one, count me out.
So as it is, members, Governor, there was a breach of the law and we would do our report and do recommendations. I've been here before in the previous parliament, but we have never made a recommendation like such charge. I don't know when we sit and retire to make the recommendations, we'll see then what we would do. I will come to the end of our session. Members, do you think anybody from Senator Spooner, closing remarks?
No, Chair, very quickly, Governor, personally, I feel that you are doing some good work in Makueni in addressing some of those challenges that devolution faces. And I am happy to see some of the resolutions that have been passed by this House. Now you're being picky. You choose the ones you want to implement, but others you have refused to implement. But I think, personally, I feel that there is quite a good progress in Makueni in terms of devolution. This conversation has been quite enlightening about the interface between what the reality on the ground in terms of the needs of the people in Makueni are and the decision makers in Nairobi, and also on the question of these policies that are brought about by national government that have an effect on your expenditure, and yet the commensurate growth in revenue is you cannot compare it. So you've given us, at least me personally, ammunition in this fight for devolution. And I always say, for as long as you hand me the bat, I will swing. So for the benefit of the people of this republic. So thank you for that.
Senator Makueni?
Yes, Chair, I have an issue. Every time we invite a Senate, a COG here, there's a lot of expectation of COG. And in fact, if we invite them to a committee and they don't show up, in those committees of theirs, agriculture, etc., there is a very big issue. But when it comes to the funding of COG, I think there should be something interim. Although for Governor Makueni, there could be some conflict of interest now that you are an official. But I think somehow we must come up with the interim measures as Senate to deal with the issue of COG. Otherwise, it's a total contradiction of what we are doing about devolution. If there's no COG, then there's no devolution, and subsequently there's no Senate. So I think it should be handled as a matter of urgency that the COG is either funded by the national government directly or direct from the exchequer, or Senate comes up with a way of funding COG. I'd say this because every time we have summoned chair of different parts of committees of COG, we are very upset when they are not here. And our business stops when they are not here. And therefore, I think other than that resolution of legality, we must have something interim or a way of dealing with it. I thank you, Chair.
Senator Okongo Mageni?
Yeah, I think I first want to compliment the governor. I mean, from the reports, we have seen worse than what we have seen this morning. It seems that you have a vision for company. especially this project of water. You know, most governors think water provision is you drill a borehole, put a water kiosk. But you are dreaming to supply water to 4 counties. In fact, when you launch that project, I'd like to come with a full bus from Yamira to show people that's what we expect devolution to do. If you tell people you are giving them water, let water go to their home states. The interaction should be for you to tell them, I've given you water, pay for consumption. So I really hope that what you have told us will come to fruition. And if you launch that project for sure and supply water to 4 wards, be sure we'll send a delegation to come and benchmark. So we are happy when we see senators giving us a success story of devolution, and we wish you all the best. I agree with Senator Manzo. It will be a tragedy if Senate does not support COG to stand on its feet. This IPEC is an appendix of the executive. The only body that really stands with us in defending devolution is COG. So we must do all that it will take to ensure that they get support to continue functioning. If we need to fast track that law to make sure you are anchored, we will do it as senators, because COG means well for the devolution family. Chair.
Senator Mufai.
Thank you, Chair. Governor, I've been around now for the last close to 3 years in this committee. I've been able to interact with very many governors, even having county visits. And I can confirm to you most of these counties are scenes of crime. Right? We have a very rotten lot of governors. People who are purely into looting spree. They have no other business other than enriching themselves, right, left to right, and they go scot-free. We have made some recommendations to relevant entities around. Maybe because of some political expediency, patronage, nothing happens. I want to assure you, Governor, you have an advantage of age. With that kind of integrity and that kind of undertaking, maybe your future is bright. Because in the next 5 years, you'll exit, I'm about 7 years now, you exit Makueni County. Of course, you'll be still strong and young. And maybe the future would be bright for you. Because what you are doing today, you are trying to plant some seeds of seeds for generations. I wish you well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ilegwe. You okay? Senator Fatuma Dulo?
Chair, let me. Why are you laughing, Governor? You know what I'm going to say. Now, I think generally we are happy with what you are doing, with the experience from the Senate and also currently 3 years in Council of Governors. I think you are the best, one of the best brains that we have in COG. And you can leave a very good legacy behind, both in COG and also in your county. You remember I and you, we used to exchange what you have in Makueni vis-a-vis what was happening in Isiolo then. Although Makueni also picked after the dissolution of the county. You remember the fight you had, and dissolution was on the table. I think that is when they started changing the path, which was very good. And I wish other counties can follow the same route, because unless they are threatened, they are not going to be serious. So, but personally, I want to tell you is that you are doing a good job, you are trying your best, and the sky is the limit, but leave a very good legacy for Makueni County. I thank you. And basically, I like your public participation and the legislation you have. Because you see, as some of the senators, in fact, Senator Sifuna was saying, people sit in Nairobi and make decisions for a place like Garbatula and Merti, where they have never been. They don't know what kind of animals live there. But you have a good legislation where you bring on board And even some of the governors, they have never been to some of their wards, even if they, they expect votes from there. But it's important to have that kind of, interaction, consultation, so that you have everybody on board and they can understand what is happening and what the county is doing for them. So I hope maybe at some stage, all the counties in the country should be able to adopt that particular legislation that involves public participation in each and every person within those counties. I thank you, wish you all the best.
Now, we had Chair Park. Can you just say one or two things before I give the governor to give his closing remarks? So that you don't say I traveled all the way from Makueni and my neighbor from Taita Taveta did not give me an opportunity to say anything.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I would want to begin by appreciating the Senate for the work that you're doing. For devolution to work, it is the Senate that will take the lead. And I appreciate that you are doing exactly that. Let me also appreciate the changing face of auditing in our governments. There were times when appearance into a committee like this would be a bashing moment. There were times when, at the mention of auditors, the accounting officers would begin to tremble. But I'm seeing a situation whereby we are making a corrective approach to our discussions. When an accounting officer or the governor appears before this committee, there is a discussion that is geared towards making our counties better. When auditors come to our counties, I'm seeing a situation whereby they are making an approach of trying to make things better as opposed to just looking for fault. And I think this is very impressive. Let me also appreciate the county government, the executive of Makueni, for doing good in these matters. One thing that I have noted with other counties, and I thank God that is not so in our case, is that there are governments that are not giving the CPAC committees due attention and cooperation. And county assemblies being the primary oversight, it is good that they be accorded due attention and cooperation from the executive. But I want to appreciate that every time we call on the county executive as a committee, they give us due attention as they are doing to the Senate. And that's why we've been able to make strides and to make things work.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Governor, please give your closing remarks.
The governor, there is only one thing I think he needs to clarify because he was on record. He talked of a lady gentleman agreement. I don't know if it's called a gentleman agreement or what's the real status, because he was on record for the purposes of the record.
I only qualified because in that room there were ladies and I didn't want to call it a gentleman's agreement to look discriminatory. Thank you, Chair and members, for the opportunity to always come to review our progress. Firstly, allow me to thank the audit team because we have had very good sessions in entry and exit meetings, and in terms of information, where there is a problem, they come to me, and we can address it jointly. And where they have difficulties, they have also forwarded to you, and we have found better solutions too. And this was to Senator Sifuna. I thought you would go to my page 95 and retrieve that QR code, because it's also part of the lessons that we should come, that you have done, you see, that we can introduce innovation in project management, and where I can monitor project management remotely even when I'm seated here. That's 3. 2, 3, I'm lucky to have a good team, both of the Assembly and the Executive, that have supported us in ensuring these things work. 4, to say, and I want to thank the Senate for passing 465, although our demand was more, but it's good progress. I was telling you, senators, this morning, and I want to mention one, Senator Lelegwe and Senator Omogeni, and the fights we had, the people getting arrested. If we didn't move the division of revenue from 316 to 370 at the time in 2020, counties would be suffering. And therefore, what we have demonstrated in just a small presentation is that the increase in revenue also shoulders counties from certain actions of the executive that have got nothing to do with the devolution. And therefore, do not lose faith in us. Even where Senator Tarakaniti says they are bad apples, don't kill everybody in the process. So help us, because in helping us, dear colleagues and senators, you will also find, when you leave Senate to go to become a governor, you will find a good thing that you did when you're in the Senate. When I sit as governor, I feel very proud that I fought so hard for counties to get adequate resources. So continue the fight, because it's not easy. And I said, when the government wakes up and gives empowerment fund to constituencies, it doesn't bother anybody that there's money being dished out in cash. Yet, when it comes to us to request for resources, they don't want to give us resources. I get very bothered when I see a budget line reading 100 million to build level 4 hospitals in counties. Why would national government engage in such an exercise? Or build a ward somewhere in a county I will not mention for 50 million shillings. If that money was given to counties, we would do much better than what national government is doing. And we are together in this. Help us to get COG properly anchored in law, because the people who said that the demons of exercising devolution have not gone away since 1966. I can see them. Every day I wake up, I see them. Recently, we were told to form market committees by national government. Makueni has said, no, we are not going to agree. We don't see the role of the county commissioner in a market, in a place, Makueni. What is his business with? And they are creating a fund called the market fund. Now, what is that money for? So, as they refuse to fund counties, they fund an opportunity to back channel county functions. It's called back channel. They build the market for a function that belongs to county, and then they enter a market committee run by national government, and then continue running our markets. Eventually, they will say that counties are unable to run markets, and then take away their function. So continue fighting for us, both on air and in other places, and we will pray for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Governor, I say one day when I grow up and I become governor, and I want the health care, for example, to work, I don't need to run anywhere and reinvent the wheel. I just go to Makueni and pick what is happening in Makueni. I was talking to Irungu Kangata the other day, and he was telling me when I wanted to improve healthcare in Murang'a, I did not need to reinvent the wheel. I just went to Makueni, just picked what they are doing, and they are doing quite well in Murang'a. So, as we fight for funds to come to counties, like this time, we are fighting for 465 billion. And I can tell you the senators who are here, and Senator Sifuna, who is my party SG, will fight tooth and nail, because we have a memorandum of agreement that we should not have less than 450 billion going to counties. If that is flouted, then other things would come up. I'm also very happy about this issue of public participation. I had a friend of mine who was doing public participation, and at PhD level, and part of the respondents are from Makueni. She had very good stories to tell about Makueni and how whatever is discussed in public participation then informs decision making. And I know also you are very passionate about public participation when you are in the Senate. And so I think Senate is a good training ground for governors. Keep doing whatever you're doing. And also I'm impressed that you don't just take the projects from the national government that are rammed through your throats to the counties. You also think, in my county they wanted to put a budget of 250 million. to do kipes. I told them, so what are you aggregating? We don't have mangoes, we don't have avocados. Why don't you plant avocados, plant mangoes first, then we get a crisis? And then you embrace kipes. They had to remove the 250 million from the budget. So I think counties are independent. We need to think, not just pick up projects from the national government. Right now, there are markets that are being built right, left, and center. A market of 300 million in Taita Taveta County, for example, when even the produce can't reach the market because there are no roads. So I think let's think through. We are independent, and for us as counties, we must make our own decisions, not waiting for decisions to be made from the top or from the national government, and then we just embrace them because we feel that maybe because we support the top. So let's end it here, members. We don't need to belabor this. Wish you well. Senator Mwenda Gatai said that for you the sky is the limit, and when you reach there, don't forget me.
More Radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More Radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More Radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More Radio,